M4A1, USA. A 5.56 by 45mm carbine first fielded in 1994 is the shortened, fully automatic offspring of the M16, and it has become the backbone of U.S. infantry and Allied armies worldwide. In the 1980s, American planners saw the need for a compact rifle for close quarters and mechanized troops, something the long M16A2 struggled with in tight spaces. The result was the M4 carbine, which evolved into the M4A1 variant by 1994, with a heavier barrel and full auto-fire to satisfy Special Forces demands for more firepower. Its gas-operated direct impingement mechanism hurls 5.56mm rounds downrange at up to approximately 800 rounds per minute, and a 14.5-inch barrel plus collapsible stock give it agility in urban fights without sacrificing 500-meter effective range. The M4A1 proved a modular workhorse. It sports rails for optics, lasers, and grenade launchers, letting troops customize it for any mission. By the mid-2000s, it had largely replaced the bulky M16 in U.S. frontline service, and over 60 countries have adopted the M4 family, recognizing its blend of lightweight and reliability. More than 500,000 units have been produced as of 2021, a number that speaks to its ubiquity. It's been continuously tweaked through at least 90 improvement programs, from ambidextrous controls to improved feed magazines, rather than replaced outright. One quirk: the M4A1 first saw action not in the Middle East, but in the Balkans, Kosovo, 1999, showing it could adapt from peacekeeping to full-scale war. AK-12, Russia. Russia's modern 5.45 by 39mm assault rifle is essentially the Kalashnikov lineage dressed up for the 21st century. Entering service in 2018 as part of Russia's Ratnik program, the AK-12 was conceived to replace the trusty AK-74M with a rifle that solved a Cold War problem: how to add accuracy and accessory rails to an AIK without losing its battle-proven soul. The result keeps the classic long-stroke gas piston and rotating bolt that made the AK platform legendary, but adds a free-floated 415mm barrel for better stability, full-length Picatinny and M-lock rails for optics and lasers, and an adjustable folding stock for troop comfort. Early prototypes in 2012 even toyed with a hyper-burst feature, firing 2 rounds in a blink for extra punch. In practice, the production AK-12 sticks to simplicity. By 2023, engineers actually removed the complicated 2-round burst mode after soldiers found it added complexity without real benefit. The refined AK-12 instead offers semi or full auto at about 700 rounds per minute cyclic, with improved recoil control and muzzle stability. Logistically, it accepts standard AK-74 mags, 30 rounds or 45-round RPK mags, to ease the transition, and its ambidextrous controls and rails finally let Russian infantry mount modern optics and grips on a Kalashnikov. After decades of stockpiling AK-74s, the Russian army initially hesitated to adopt a new AK en masse, but battlefield feedback from Syria and Ukraine pushed them to upgrade. A special twist: the first units to get AK-12s were ceremonial. The rifle debuted in a 2018 Victory Day parade, before filtering to frontline troops. HK G36, Germany. Hitting the scene in 1997 as a futuristic replacement for the Cold War-era G3 battle rifle. Built with extensive use of polymers and a distinctive integrated scope handle, the G36 solved Germany's 1990s problem: how to arm the newly unified Bundeswehr with a light, NATO-caliber rifle after the exotic caseless ammo G11 project fell through. The G36's short-stroke gas piston action, 750 rounds per minute cyclic, gave it AK-like reliability, while its 3-power optical sight in the carry handle let average troops shoot with marksman precision out to 600 meters. Troops loved the handy 30-round translucent magazines that can clip together for speedy reloads, a bit of German practicality in the field. The G36 was a hit. Over 40 countries bought it, from Spain to Indonesia, thanks to its light 3.6-kilogram build and ease of use. It became a symbol of modern German engineering, even appearing in action movies and video games due to its distinctive look. However, a decade into service, reports emerged that prolonged firefights in hot climates could make the G36 lose accuracy as its barrel heated. This overheating scandal in Afghanistan prompted a search for a replacement in the 2010s. HK defended their rifle, but by 2022, Germany decided on an HK 416 variant as the next standard issue, phasing the G36 out after nearly 25 years. A special fact, the G36's modular design spawned variants like the compact G36C, which became an icon of counter-terror units. FAMAS, France. It earned the nickname Le Clairon, the bugle, for its distinctive carry handle shape. Adopted in 1978 as the standard French service rifle, the 5.56 by 45mm FAMAS was a bold answer to a 1970s problem. France needed a modern assault rifle, but refused to simply buy foreign designs. Instead, engineers in Saint-Étienne created a homegrown solution with a lever-delayed blowback action, an uncommon mechanism that gave the FAMAS a blistering rate of fire around 900 to 1,100 rounds per minute without using a traditional gas system. Its bullpup layout, magazine behind the trigger, allowed a full-length 19.4-inch barrel in a very compact package, ideal for France's forest and urban battlefields. In service, the FAMAS proved reliable in varied climates, from the sands of Chad to Desert Storm's heat, and French troops appreciated its accuracy and built-in bipod for steady firing. However, its quirks became apparent over time. The FAMAS F1 variant used proprietary 25-round magazines and originally required special French-made ammunition, steel-cased, to function optimally. This made logistics tricky when deployed alongside NATO allies. Moreover, the rifle's manufacturer shut down in 2002, meaning no new FAMAS could be made, and spare parts dwindled. By the 2010s, France faced an aging armory of FAMAS rifles that were expensive to maintain. In 2017, the French military finally began retiring the bugle in favor of a licensed HK 416F, ending the FAMAS's nearly 40-year run. One special twist. The FAMAS's bottle opener rumor. French soldiers were said to use the rifle's sling loop to pop wine bottle caps, a très français solution to avoid damaging magazines. L85A3, United Kingdom. The latest iteration of Britain's SA-80 bullpup rifle is a story of redemption in firearm form. The 5.56mm L85A1 entered service in the mid-1980s with big promises. A compact bullpup to replace the trusty L1A1 FAL, offering marksman-like accuracy with its standard SUSAT optic and a full-length barrel in a short package. Problem: early L85A1 rifles were plagued by reliability gremlins, jams in desert sand, flimsy parts, you name it. The joke was that this rifle might spend more time being fixed than fired. However, in 2002, Germany's H&K, then owned by BAE Systems, re-engineered the weapon into the L85A2, swapping out weak springs and redesigning key components, turning it into a dependable shooter. The mechanism remained a gas-operated rotating bolt like the M16's cousin. The L85's internals share DNA with the Armalite AR-18, but with H&K's tweaks, the rifle finally just worked. The A3 upgrade, first issued in 2018, took things further. Weight was slightly reduced. An improved handguard with Picatinny rails and a slick flat dark earth paint job brought the L85 fully into the modern era. British troops can now easily attach grips, lasers, and newer optics, addressing the old complaint that the original SA-80 wasn't accessory-friendly. Logistics: the L85A2/A3 has served as the standard British service rifle for decades, 1985 to present, with around 350,000 made. Outside the UK, it saw limited use. A few partner nations received some, largely because its early reputation hurt export prospects. A special fact: the L85 was the last weapon produced by the Royal Small Arms Factory at Enfield, closing a centuries-long chapter of British arms making. Today's A3 variant is one of NATO's more accurate infantry rifles, albeit heavier than many peers at nearly 5 kilograms loaded. IWI Tavor, Israel. Born from the Israel Defense Forces' quest in the 1990s for a weapon tailor-made to their needs. By 2001, it entered service in select units, and by 2009 the refined X95 Micro Tavor was chosen to replace M16s and M4s as the standard Israeli infantry rifle. The problem it solved was clear. Urban and mechanized warfare in Israel demanded a compact, easy-maintenance rifle that could shrug off sand and rough handling better than the American M4. Designers placed the action in the rear, bullpup layout, to keep an 18-inch barrel in a gun barely 70 centimeters long, ensuring high muzzle velocity for range but fantastic maneuverability around tight corners. The Tavor uses a long-stroke gas piston, akin to an AK's, for rock-solid reliability. It's fully ambidextrous convertible. You can reconfigure it for left-handed ejection, and its polymer body and simple construction make field stripping a breeze. Israeli trials in 2001 to 2002 found the Tavor significantly more reliable than the M4A1, with troops able to march longer and fight harder with fewer malfunctions. Logistics-wise, the Tavor family, TAR-21 and the compact X95, became the new standard by 2018, meaning thousands of IDF soldiers now carry a locally made rifle into battle. It's been exported as well. From Indian Special Forces to Ukrainian troops, the Tavor has seen action worldwide, a point of pride for Israel's arms industry. A fun twist, the Tavor's sci-fi looks earned at cameos in video games and movies as the archetypal, futuristic rifle. Steyr AUG, Austria. It was so ahead of its time in 1977 that it still looks futuristic over 40 years later. Adopted in '77 as the STG-77 by the Austrian Army, the AUG, Armee Universal Gewehr, tackled the late Cold War problem of modernizing infantry rifles in one swoop. Its designers delivered a modular weapon system decades before that term was trendy. Need a carbine, an SMG, a rifle, or even a light machine gun? The AUG could do it all by swapping its quick-change barrels and configuration, no armorer required. It featured an integral 1.5 power Swarovski optic built into the carry handle, giving ordinary soldiers sharpshooter-like aim out to 300+ meters, and used cutting-edge polymers to keep weight low around 3.6 kilograms. The AUG's gas piston rotating bolt action is exceedingly smooth, firing about 680 to 750 rounds per minute with minimal recoil. Troops loved its balance and how the bullpup design made it as short as an SMG but with a rifle's reach. Its 30 or 42 round translucent magazines were another novelty, and yes, they also inspired decades of sci-fi prop makers. Logistically, the AUG became one of the first widely adopted bullpup rifles in the world. Not just Austria, but Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, and others made it their standard issue in the 1980s and 90s. Many of those nations still use updated AUG variants to this day, proving the design's longevity. A special tidbit, the AUG famously appeared in films like Die Hard as a henchman's weapon, its space-age look defining elite mercenary in Hollywood for a generation. Italy. Beretta ARX-160. This is Italy's modern service rifle built around ergonomics and maintainability, with modular tricks that actually matter on a rainy training day. The problem was replacing older 5.56 rifles with a system that works smoothly with gloves, optics, and modern kit, while staying easy to service by ordinary troops. It launches in 2008, then scales through trials and orders in the early 2010s as part of a broader modernization effort. Mechanically, it uses a gas piston, rotating bolt action housed in a polymer-forward chassis, usually around the low 3-kilogram range with a barrel around 400 millimeters in standard form. The signature feature is genuine ambidexterity, mirrored controls and reversible ejection, so left-side shooting does not turn into a workaround. Many variants also support quick barrel changes, reinforcing the idea that one platform can cover multiple roles with fewer separate weapon families. Domestic production supports supply security, NATO magazines and accessories simplify integration, and the manual of arms stays consistent even as rails and furniture evolve. The odd detail is how toolless many user tasks are. Field stripping and configuration changes are designed to be fast without a pile of pins and tiny parts. The platform's broader design family even anticipates caliber flexibility through conversion concepts, reinforcing the one chassis, many roles philosophy. QBZ95-1, China. Representing a clean break from the Kalashnikov tradition, showcasing the PRC's leap into modern small arms design. The original QBZ-95 debuted in 1997 when Chinese troops marched into Hong Kong armed with these new 5.8 by 42mm bullpups, signaling a new era. It addressed China's need for a lighter, more advanced service rifle to replace the old 7.62mm Type 81. The QBZ-95 introduced both a bullpup configuration for a shorter overall length and a brand new proprietary caliber. The rifle's short-stroke gas piston action and rotating bolt are conventional in function, but everything else was unconventional for the PLA, from the extensive use of polymers to the integral carrying handle with optical sight mounts. The 5.8mm cartridge, China claimed, offered better range and armor penetration than Western 5.56 or Russian 5.45, giving the QBZ-95 bite beyond its size. By the mid-2000s, the QBZ-95 was standard in frontline PLA units, appreciated for its compactness in vehicles and close quarters. Yet it wasn't perfect. The safety selector was awkwardly placed at the rear of the receiver, and the early rifles had no provision for accessory rails, reflecting 90s design limitations. Enter the QBZ-95-1 upgrade around 2010. The 95-1 variant moved the selector switch above the pistol grip for easy thumb use, reinforced the stock, and slightly lengthened the barrel for improved accuracy with new, hotter DBP-10 ammo. It also shed a few grams, weighing approximately 3.3 kilograms, and removed the built-in front grip to allow modern attachments. This shows China's commitment to iterating on the bullpup design rather than abandoning it, although as of 2019, they've unveiled a next-gen conventional rifle, QBZ-191, to eventually succeed it. A unique fact, outside of China, the QBZ-95's only real export is the civilian Type 97 variant in 5.56mm, since the PLA's 5.8mm ammo isn't used by anyone else, truly keeping this system in-house. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like and sharing it with other firearm enthusiasts. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into some of the most interesting guns ever made. And if there's another gun manufacturer or topic you'd like us to cover next, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.